Hi there. Today we're going to have a look at the new PostFlop browser and the PostFlop Insights module now available from Range Converter. So let's have a look here. So here we are at rangeconverter.com, and we can access the PostFlop products either down here, clicking on PostFlop ranges, or via the solved ranges menu up at the top. Hover over that and we go PostFlop here, and we can drill into that heads up and 6 max spots. So click on this one, and this brings up the products page showing what's currently available. And to buy any of these, we just click on the product here and we get taken to the specific product information page. So currently available, we have 6 max, 100 big blinds, 500 zoom flops available. We also have short deck, heads up, 100 ante, and let's have a look at the 6 max here. So we just clicked on that and we're taken to the details here, and to purchase that we either enter a promotion code and click redeem here, or if we don't have a discount code, we just click straight on purchase, where we get taken to the purchase page where we fill in our card details or pay via GPay. And as with all the other products, once your payment's been gone through, been accepted, all your solutions are available by clicking in the My Solutions area up here, and then you can access them via that. So just looking at the 6 max 100 big blinds that we'll be looking at today. So we've currently got in the database 21 spots available, and each of those spots has all flops solved. So for example, here we've got small blind raise versus big blind call, and so for this scenario we've got the ranges, the pre-flop ranges that are available from Range Converter. You see those, and that's been solved for all possible flops. So each one's got 1,755 strategically different flops solved for. So okay, let's have a look. Go back to the browser. So yes, as I was saying, we've currently got 21 spots in the database, but more are coming regularly. We've got another 30 or so scenarios still to upload, and they'll be added as they're ready. So this is back to the browser page. If you're not familiar with the layout of this and the elements of the screen, I'd recommend watching the online pre-flop browser video, where we run through how to use the browser and what each of the elements are on the screen there, and it's pretty much the same. So okay, let's have a look. There's a number of ways to navigate to PostFlop. You can either navigate through the pre-flop scenario via the game tree here on the left, clicking through each action. Here we are at the root. Today we're going to have a look at small blind 3-bet button call. So we could either navigate by clicking in the game tree here and going through to the spot, using the buttons here, game table action buttons here, which would be much the same as playing online poker, for example, or a hand history navigator, and we just navigate through the actions until we get to the spot. Or a quicker way, if you're not so interested in the pre-flop action, we can navigate straight there by this tab up here on the left, this post flop tab. So we just click that, and then this shows us all the spots available, broken down into categories. And so we want small blind 3-bet versus button call. So that's a 3-bet pot. Click to expand that. Out of position, razor was out of position. So, and this is the spot we're interested in here. Button 2.5 big blinds, small blind 10.9 big blinds, button call. So if we click that, we jump straight to that spot, and the ranges get populated in these windows here. So this is the small blind 3-bet range, about 15%, these cards here, and this will be the button call range, currently obscured. So yeah, we clicked on the spot here, and then it brings up this menu to choose what flop we want. So I can change the number of entries that are displayed here, and we can search for a flop manually. Let's say we have all flops available here, so we can just navigate through them along the bottom here. 2, 3, and so forth. Or we can search manually for a flop. So if we want to look at, say, all flops with ace 10 in, type ace 10 into the search bar here, leading by high card, or all flops with king queen, and we see that, or specifically king queen 4 flops, and then we have all 5 possible king queen 4 flops here: monotone, two-tone, rainbow. Okay, so today we're just going to have a look at the 222 board. So we click that, and that loads here, and the strategy appears here. So we see, as with the pre-flop browser, very similar. Here we've got the ranges of the previous actions, and in this case it will be the pre-flop actions. So we have the small blind, as the title says here, the small blind 3-bet range, and the button call range for that 3-bet. And then hovering over, we see the strategy weight and XP of each hand. Okay, so we've been taken to this flop, and we see the strategy, and it starts on small blind here. With a slight bug there with the chip display, that will be tidied up shortly. But we see action is on small blind, and here we see the small blind strategy versus this pre-flop situation. And here's the strategy window, the main strategy window there, and this is the legend, the key breaking down the frequencies for that. And if we hover over a combo, you can see the overall breakdown for the ace king suited there is check 0.76, bet 7.5 big blinds 40, and bet 15.3 big blinds maybe 60% of the time. And in this window shows the individual suit combinations for that, and as you can see, it moves, it changes, updates depending on which one you're hovering over. So if you want to actually lock a particular one, you can double click on the combo up here in the main window and it will lock. So let's do that for ace ace here. Double click there. Oops. And you see this lock icon appear, and now I'm moving over the different combos, but the ace ace suit breakdowns is locked here. And then for each individual combo, we see the breakdown of frequency by action and the EV. for each there. Okay, and also, like with the preflop, we have the ability to strategy round, so we can round to the nearest 10%, 25%, 50% or 100% of pure strategies if we want to do that, and that will update the visual here. Okay, and so now we can navigate through the flop action, either, again, much like pre-flop, either by using the action buttons here, check, bet 33% pot or 67% pot here, or we can click on game tree, and as you can see we're at this node here. That was the last pre-flop node where small blind 3-bet button called, and now we're small blind here has these three options, and you can see it corresponds here. Small blind check 1.18%, small blind check 1.18%, and so we could, if we wanted to say, see what happened when the small blind, what the GTO solution is when the small blind bets 7.5 big blinds, we can either click here on the game tree and it will take that action and it expands the node there and updates to the, we now see the button strategy versus small blind bet here, or we can navigate by the game tree. It has the same effect. So if we just go back there, we can see it's now small blinds turn again, and we're faced with the same option. So we'll click 7.5 big blinds there, and yes, we're taken to the button strategy versus small blind bet there, and the game tree updates accordingly. And you may notice there that these previous action windows also update. So let's just go back and see that. So if we go back, this is the first post-flop node. We see the previous two actions were small blind 3-bet. This is the range for that, and the button called the 3-bet, and that was the button's range for that. Once small blind bets 7.5, we see that action and range gets populated here, and we can see the strategy and weight for each of those. And this is now the button's strategy there, and we can hover over that and see the breakdowns there and the combo breakdown here as before, and so we can navigate through all the various flop actions that way. And let's go back to small blind action there. Excuse me. So we can, yes, navigate through the flop action that way and see the GTO strategy response there. And we can just quickly navigate if we want to see how the strategy varies on a different flop. You can just click on the flop there in the middle on the game table, and we bring, and the choose board menu is brought up, and we can just select a different flop, and the strategies will automatically update. So you can quickly, if you've got a number of hands to view of parts of your studies, you can just click on different boards there. If you want to see how that board varies with a 3-3-3 board, we just click on 3-3-3 here, like so. It updates here, and the strategy has updated there, as you can see, or not. They have updated. It's a very, very similar strategy. We can click on the 3-2-2 there, and you see the board's updated. And again, it's the strategy there has changed pretty much instantly. So it's a very powerful way of just browsing through different flop types there and seeing how strategy changes across different flops. Let's go back to 222, and you see the strategy updates there straight away, and we can navigate through here. And then if we want to go to a different spot, we could either reset, and that takes us back to the beginning of post-flop, to the beginning of pre-flop, and then we can navigate through to hand again, or we can just go back to the post-flop tab here and select a different spot. Okay, that's pretty much that for the post-flop browser. Yes, the other thing is, much like the pre-flop browser, we can copy the ranges if you want to run your own separate simulations in PO or any other solver software. You can copy the ranges here and copy and paste them and use them for your own simulations if you want to do node locking or whatever else you may want to do with your studies. Okay, so that's the post-flop browser covered. And next up, we have the post-flop insights module, which I'm very excited about. It's still early days for that, but it's already pretty powerful, and we've got a lot of exciting features coming out for that. So let's just click and see what that is. So we click on to access the insights module, just click on the insights tab here, and it's much the same as post-flop. We're presented with different categories of spots, scenarios that we can choose here. Now, we're interested in the button small blind 3-bet button call scenario. Now, post-flop insights allows you to see macro strategy across all of the flops that there are. So it's essentially an aggregated report for the strategy of all flops possible. So let's have a look at the small blind 3-bet button call. So navigate to that, click on it, and this loads up the table, and it's just populating the data here. It tells you what spot we're on here. Whilst it's loading, here we go, and it's loaded up. So we can change the number of entries that we're viewing at once via this button. I'll leave it on 5 for now. And okay, let's run through the elements in the table here. So the rows going across, if you're familiar with aggregated reports from PO Solver, it'll be similar to that. You should know more or less what's going on here already. So each row represents a different flop. So here we have 222 flop, which we were just looking at the individual strategy for before. Here we have 222, 322, 332, 333, etc. And showing 1 to 5 of 1,755 entries. So all the strategically different flops are available there, and we can just browse through them clicking here, or by searching for specific flops in the search bar, and that works in exactly the same way as the board selection menu there. So we could just type in ace-10 there, and it would show us all the ace-10x flops as rows here. King-queen, show all the king-queen x flops, or specifically we could type in king-queen 4, and that would show us all 5 possible permutations of king-queen 4 suited, mono, or rainbow here. or we can filter by board category, and we've got 36 different board textures that you can look at here, and that will populate the flop rows accordingly. Looking across the columns, each column represents a different statistic. So currently we've got 10 statistics, quite a few more on the way, but we've got this for now. And we've got we see the out of position bet frequency, in position bet frequency, the most common bet size for each position, check frequencies, equity, and so on. So we've also got a row here which is the average. So this gives the aggregated average value, aggregated value across all 1,755 flops. So in this particular case, for small blind 3-bet button call, the out of position bet frequency is 71, for example. Now, also we have conditional formatting applied, which helps the data stand out a little bit. So if the value, looking at 222 specifically here, if the value for a statistic is higher than the average, it's coloured a more dark shade than the average, and if it's lower, it's coloured a more light shade, and it's shaded proportionally according to the distance from the average. So the higher the value, the darker it is, the lighter the value, and the smaller the value, the lighter it is, and outliers are coloured particularly light. So here, looking at IP equity, we see the average is 44.79 here on the 222 flop, where IP equity is only 30.34. That's lower than the average, so it's coloured lighter there. This 322 two-tone board has slightly higher than average IP equity, and it's coloured darker. And so this just helps the data stand out a little more, helps you look for outliers and see patterns a little more easily. We'll be upgrading the colour scheme shortly with that as well. You can also sort the columns by clicking on the column header, and that will sort into ascending or descending order. So if we were to click on this, we would see the flops that out of position have the highest bet frequency, i.e. flops which out of position bets the most in this scenario, and if we were to click again, it would sort by ascending order. So it would be showing the lowest bet flops, lowest frequency bet flops first, and you can do that for any column there to order by highest first or lowest first, ascending or descending there. Okay, that about wraps up this video for the post-flop browser and post-flop insights module, now available at Range Converter. Hope it's been useful. We're pretty excited about these products and their potential. Got a lot of updates on the way, no spoilers, and this is the first version of this product suite. We think they'll provide you with a lot of value when it comes to GTO study and research to help improve your game plan and unlock your poker potential. It's of course one of the big advantages. It's a real time saver, having all the spots, all the flops at your fingertips, Not to mention every single aggregated strategy report available. Just a click of a button. Navigate to a spot, discover the answer, on to the next, rinse and repeat. More spots and formats are coming soon as well, so keep an eye out for those. Okay, so if you've got any questions or want to get in touch, you can contact us either by emailing support@rangeconverter.com or find us on Twitter or Discord. Simply search for Range Converter. Thanks for watching. Good luck at the tables.